So right after Jesus ascended into heaven, he left the 12 apostles in charge until he comes back. When's he going to come back? Well, he said it wasn't for them to know, but still everyone thought Jesus was about to come back. So at Pentecost, the 12 apostles all receive the Holy Spirit, who empowers them to preach the gospel in many different languages. So they're living together as one big happy family and preaching to the people, and their numbers begin to increase dramatically. They're worshiping in the temple, and the Jewish leaders of the temple don't really like these new followers of Jesus, so they begin to persecute them, and they even kill some of them, starting with Steve. One of the people who persecutes the Christians is Saul of Tarsus. He's all like, Christianity is cringe, change my mind. He changed his mind. And his name. And now it's his job to preach Christianity everywhere, not just to the Jews. He goes to a bunch of cities and begins preaching to the Gentiles, which are people who are not Jewish people. Which raises the question, is Christianity Jewish? Yes, said Peter. No, said Paul. Who's right? Paul is right. You don't need to become Jewish to become Christian. Cool. Now we've got Christianity all figured out. And just in time, because everyone still thinks Jesus is about to come back. Man, I'm so glad we have all these apostles who can teach us. Oh wait, no, they're dying out. Quick, preserve their teachings. So people begin preserving their teachings and writings and compiling them into what would eventually become the New Testament. And it's good that we have the New Testament, because in the 2nd century a bunch of weird heretics and schismatic groups begin to pop up. You've got the Gnostics, who hate the world, the Marcionites, who hate most of the Bible, the Montanists, who get a bit too crazy sometimes, and the Docetists, who think Jesus was too cool to be human. And the Apostolic Fathers, like these guys, the successors of the Apostles, are able to use the New Testament as a shield against these heresies. It's kinda hard to officially deal with these heretics, because remember, Christianity is still illegal, unless you live in Armenia, but in Rome, it's illegal. But it's hard to keep it illegal because people keep converting. Don't worry, the Emperor will solve this. Oh wait, no, he just converted as well. Now he wants everyone to be Christian, so he gathers all the Christian leaders at Nicaea to clarify what Christianity is. Well, we worship Jesus because he's God, says almost everyone. Actually, said some guy named Arius, Jesus is like God, but he's still created by God. There was a time when Jesus didn't exist. Bro, that's heresy, said Santa Claus, punching him in the face. So the Council of Nicaea clarified that Jesus is truly God. Arius got kicked out, and they wrote a statement summarizing the basics of Christianity. Knock knock, it's Muhammad. He's politely asking everyone to become Muslim. And when that doesn't work, he asks less politely. So the Muslim armies spread rapidly and take over a lot of formerly Christian lands. And if you're someone who's not Muslim living in a Muslim land, you need to pay to not be Muslim. And there's a lot of persecution of Christians. So in these times, it's very important for the Christians to stick together and defend against the Muslim empires. So it's important that Christianity stays united, despite cultural differences. Yo, remember the Nicene Creed, the document that says what Christianity is? The Pope wants to add something to it to clarify that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Dude, you can't change the creed, says the Patriarch of Constantinople. Yes, I can. No, you can't. You're kicked out. No, you're kicked out. So Christianity splits. You can make denominations out of this. Bro, the Muslims keep invading. We should defend our land and maybe even retake the Holy Land. It's time for a crusade. They recruited soldiers from everywhere and got the war really hyped up. It's gonna be the most epic holy war ever, and everyone thinks Jesus is about to come back. Maybe the war can reunify East and West. Just kidding, they turn on each other and they don't retake the Holy Land. But they do retake Spain and Portugal. That's actually really impressive. They reconquered Spain. They retook the Spain Line Church. Very inspiring. Anyway, the Crusades end up being kind of anticlimactic. They weren't that violent, and they definitely weren't nearly as bad as your high school history textbook probably said they were. Despite the fact that they didn't do much, there's still a lot going on. Because St. Anselm just figured out that God exists. He exists because of the way he is. And just in time for the period of medieval scholasticism, Thomas also comes along later and finds other reasons why God exists. He also has a thing where he takes non-Christian philosophy and makes it Christian, because all truth is God's truth. He's got a whole system for figuring out everything, and the Catholic Church gets on board. The Orthodox Church has an alternative. And he's not the only one doing this, everyone's trying to figure out everything. And since we're figuring out everything about God, we should learn about the world as well, because the world's God's creation. So they learn about astronomy, the sciences, math, and music, and lay the groundwork for modern science, because theology is the queen of the sciences. And they start the modern university system and hospital system. Now it looks like we've finally got Christianity all figured out.